Maria and her husband Michael are on vacation in Mumbai, India. While he talks animatedly, she seems distant. After a while, Maria reveals that she is pregnant, and Michael is very happy with the news. To celebrate, they decide to go to the beach. During the outing, Maria suggests that they could move to India and start a new life. Michael finds the idea interesting and says it could work, since he would need to travel to the country 3 times a year for work. As they talk, a little girl kicks a ball in their direction, and Michael manages to stop it. He says something in her language to the girl, and Maria, not understanding, asks what he said. Michael replies that he asked if they should stay there forever. Suddenly, the girl points at Maria and screams with a grim expression, causing Maria to wake up startled, realizing it was just a nightmare. 6 years have passed, and Maria has lost her child. Watching her husband, who sleeps peacefully, she becomes upset and starts hitting him. Michael tries to hold her to calm her down. In the morning, Lucy, the couple's other daughter, plays with her dog, Winston, and joins them for lunch, but the atmosphere is tense due to the previous night. Michael prepares to leave for work when Maria approaches to apologize, but he calmly interrupts her, saying he understands and knows what she feels. After he leaves, Maria collapses on the floor in tears, while her maid, Peaky, watches everything with concern. Later, Michael returns from work and notices the house is quiet. Peaky appears and informs him that Maria and Lucy went to bed early. Michael then goes to his daughter's room to check if everything is okay. Upon entering his room, he realizes that Maria has fallen asleep watching television. As he picks up the remote to turn it off, he discovers that the TV is showing a tape of their son playing with them, which breaks his heart. He hugs Maria and kisses her, but as he pulls her closer, a bottle of medicine falls from her hand. When Michael picks up the bottle, he realizes that Maria tried to commit suicide. She is taken to the hospital, and Michael pleads with her not to leave him, saying he cannot live without her. Meanwhile, Maria remembers the accident in which their son Oliver drowned when the car they were in was submerged in water. She realizes that Lucy is unconscious and tries to wake her, but she can't, so she goes to help Oliver, who is trapped. He begs her to help him, but Maria must make a choice. As the water rises, she decides to save Lucy, while Oliver screams for her not to abandon him. Many people appear and prevent her from reaching her son, and she screams desperately. In the hospital, Michael waits for news, and when the doctor appears, she informs him that Maria took too many pills, but she will be fine. Maria wakes up with Lucy by her side, and Peaky emerges from the darkness to inform her that she is in the hospital. Maria asks about Michael, and Peaky explains that he is talking to the doctor. Maria expresses her despair, saying she can't live without her son, and Peaky reveals that she also lost a daughter who fell into a lake while trying to collect plants. Peaky approaches and says there is a way for Maria to say goodbye to her son. Maria, confused, asks Peaky what she is talking about. Peaky explains that she grew up in a village in southern India where there is a large forest. Inside the forest, there is an abandoned temple that, according to local belief, represents a delicate connection between the world of the living and the dead. Peaky proposes that Maria take Oliver's ashes there, spreading them on the temple steps, but she needs to lock herself inside at night when Oliver will appear, and Maria will be able to communicate with him through the temple's portal, allowing for a farewell. At that moment, Michael enters the room, and Peaky quickly leaves, leaving the two alone. The next day, while watching Lucy play in the yard, Maria reflects on the conversation she had with Peaky. She goes to the woman, who is praying for her daughter's soul, and Peaky, realizing what it's about, reveals that there is a condition. Maria cannot open the temple door, no matter what Oliver does to convince her. Peaky makes her promise that, and Maria agrees. They go to the cemetery, where Maria hired men to exhume the boy's body. As they do this, Peaky asks Maria not to look, as much time has passed since then. However, determined to face her fears, Maria picks up one of Oliver's toys that was buried with him, but is startled when she pulls the toy and the boy's arm comes with it, as it was firmly in his hand. Emotionally, Maria runs into Peaky's arms. They soon begin the cremation of the body, and during this, Maria notices the presence of strange men and alerts Peaky. She calmly explains that they are Agori men, a community that lives near the crematories. They cover bodies with ash and, in rituals, consume the flesh of the dead, believing it facilitates communication with the spiritual world. Peaky leaves Maria at a train station and takes it upon herself to deliver a letter to Michael, explaining that she needs a few days to deal with her traumas, but will return soon. Maria is left at the designated place, and after some time, finds the temple in the forest. Upon arrival, she encounters dead ravens, but doesn't realize what she is about to face. She hesitates, but ultimately enters the temple, places the items she brought on the altar, spreads the ashes down the steps, and then locks herself inside. Alone and illuminated only by a candle, she starts to hear voices and decides to investigate. As she explores, she finds strange objects and feels that she is not alone. While bumping into bells, she walks a little, startled by a raven that flies towards her and ends up knocking over the candle. Quickly, she lights a match and observes a raven disintegrating before her. Looking around, she spots a grotesque and terrifying statue. Scared, she decides to leave, but the temple's candles suddenly extinguish and a noise begins to come from outside. Thinking it's Oliver, she calls his name, but a loud bang on the door startles her. Maria asks who is there, and suddenly, many voices begin to respond, pounding frantically on the door. Terrified, she hesitates, but after a silence, approaches the door. She hears someone crying outside and asks if it's Oliver, receiving an affirmative response. Recognizing her son's voice, she says it's his mother and asks him to come closer, but Oliver asks why she is there, and Maria reveals how much she misses him. She explains that she came to say goodbye, but Oliver warns her that this place is dangerous and says he is scared. He also expresses how much he misses his father and sister, Lucy. The spirit, sensing Maria's emotional fragility, begins to manipulate her feelings and tries to open the door, but fails. Maria holds her ground and insists she cannot open it. Oliver, on the other side, starts to cry and begs for a hug, saying it's dark and he wants to be with her. Despite the pleading, Maria reaffirms that she can't do that and asks him to cry with her. Oliver mentions that he needs to go, and desperate, Maria longs for more time to talk. In a moment of weakness, she breaks her promise made to Peaky and opens the door, only to face darkness outside and begins to scream for her son. At that moment, an Agori man appears, recognizing her transgression and watching her with a disapproving look, which terrifies her and drives her out of that place. Inside the temple, the sinister statue begins to come to life and emits a terrifying scream. Meanwhile, at home, Winston becomes restless and starts barking at the door. Michael, who had been sleeping, gets up thinking it's Maria, but upon opening the door, he finds emptiness and returns inside. Winston continues to growl, but Michael calms him down. Just then, Lucy appears, asking if Mom has arrived, and Michael responds that she hasn't yet, leading the girl back to bed. The next day, while Maria is heading back home, Lucy plays with her toys and hears something running through the house. Suspicious, she decides to investigate and finds Oliver's toy on the stairs, wondering how it got there. As she climbs, she picks up the toy startled and tries to go back, but is drawn to something. In her deceased brother's room, there is a warning not to enter, and Lucy observes the door curiously. When Maria finally arrives home, she is greeted by Peaky and then by Lucy, who hugs her happily. However, Michael, visibly tired of the whole situation, appears, and Peaky takes Lucy to feed Winston. Michael expresses his concern about Maria, who claims she is doing everything possible to heal for them. She says she finally feels ready to move on and kisses him. During the night, Maria decides to reconnect with her husband, and they share an intimate moment. Later, while watching Michael sleep, she feels something beside her and turns to see what it is. When she turns, she realizes it's Winston, who is barking fiercely, which frightens her. Michael asks what is happening, and Maria says it's just the dog and that she will take care of it. She gets up and tries to take Winston outside, but he continues barking at something in the bed, forcing her to move him away. Taking the opportunity to go to Lucy's room, she pets her daughter and informs her that she is back. When she is about to leave, she feels someone watching her, turns on the light, but sees no one. Upon returning to her room, Maria notices Winston acting strangely, growling as if he is terrified. The next day, she goes to Lucy's room but cannot find her. Desperate, she begins to search for her until she hears someone singing a song in Oliver's room and quickly ascends the stairs. Upon entering, she finds Lucy inside. She asks what she was doing and with whom she was talking. Lucy replies that she was playing with her dolls. Maria explains that she doesn't like anyone playing in that room, instructing her daughter to put the toys away and come back downstairs. However, as she turns, the toy box spills onto the floor. Upon checking, she notices that the crossword puzzles formed the name Oliver. Startled, she tries to throw the letters again, but they fall randomly, which unnerves her. She descends and hears Lucy playing the piano, but upon entering finds Oliver's toy completely intact. In shock, she approaches to touch it, but cannot. Lucy says she has something to show her mother, but asks for secrecy. Maria insists again on knowing where the girl found the toy, and Lucy claims she will show her. She begins to play the piano. Irritated, Maria asks her to stop, but the piano continues to play by itself, the same melody that her son liked. In shock, Maria retreats as Lucy smiles, saying Oliver has returned. Later, Maria puts Lucy to bed, and the girl asks if her mother will tell Dad about Oliver. Maria questions why her daughter insists on this topic, and Lucy replies that she thinks her brother is scared of something and doesn't want to tell. She asks her mother not to reveal anything to Michael. Maria suggests that they wait until Oliver is ready to share, and Lucy agrees. After saying goodbye to her daughter, Maria takes the toy to Oliver's old room. There, she begins to act as if her son were truly back. When she prepares to leave, a book falls to the floor, startling her. As she picks it up to return it, a chair moves on its own, and a toy airplane lights up, playing a melody. This time, Maria doesn't feel fear. She believes Oliver wants her to tell a story. Thus, she reads the same book she used to share with him. Later, Michael arrives home from work and notices that Maria seems happier. He asks what happened, but she doesn't reveal the truth, merely saying she is okay. Outside the house, the leaves begin to wilt strangely. During the night, Maria is pulled and wakes up, thinking it is Michael, but finds Oliver's toy staring at her frightfully. She begins to hear Oliver's voice and tries to contact the boy, but he does not reveal himself. The boy laughs ominously, and a sinister shadow approaches her. Terrified, Maria wakes up screaming. Michael, worried, asks if she is okay, and she responds that she is. It was just a nightmare. The next day, Peaky prepares lunch and notices the plants are wilting. Soon, the person responsible for the house calls her to alert her about strange occurrences. All the fish have died, and little by little the plants are withering. Peaky, alarmed, knows something is wrong when she hears Lucy scream for her mother and rushes to see. Upon arriving, she discovers that Lucy's birds have also died. With a serious look, Peaky reveals that something evil is affecting the environment. Lucy asks if they can bury the animals in the sea, and Maria wants to know why. The daughter replies that Peaky said that in India, people are buried in the sea. Thus, they go to the beach, where Lucy says goodbye to her friends, while Maria observes from afar. Lucy then asks who that man is, and Maria sees in the distance an gory man pointing at her. She tries to reassure her daughter, stating that everything is fine, even from a distance. However, Lucy, scared, reveals that she is referring to another man. When Maria turns, the man puts ash on her face and says something in his native tongue, causing her to realize the gravity of the situation. On the way back home, Maria tries to clean her face, and Lucy asks why the man covered her with ashes. Maria says she doesn't know, and they move on, but are soon interrupted by an accident on the road. As they approach, the runover man quickly turns his neck to them, and Maria, frightened, grabs Lucy and backs away from the scene. Later, a storm forms, and Lucy begins to wander the house looking for Oliver. With no answers from her brother, she decides to watch television. During a thunderclap, a shadow emerges in the dark, but Lucy refuses to look. Winston, agitated, senses the malevolent presence, and Lucy asks what is happening with him. Soon, Oliver's ghostly figure appears next to Lucy, but the girl pays no attention. Maria goes to the bathroom to bathe her daughter and notices that Lucy is strangely despondent. When she approaches, she notices a mark on the girl's shoulder and asks what happened. Lucy, in a low voice with serious eyes, reveals that she no longer likes Oliver because he has become evil. Maria decides to confront the spirit in the boy's room, stating that this is wrong, but Oliver refuses to talk and knocks a book down, pulling a chair for her to sit in. Maria gets up and refuses to accept it, but the spirit does not yield and locks the door. Not knowing what to do, she begs him to open it, but he pulls the book closer and opens it to a specific page. Maria promises to read to him if he promises not to hurt Lucy anymore. The spirit pulls the chair again towards the bed. With a trembling voice, she reads the book and, soon after, leaves the room. Michael calls to check how they are doing and warns that he will be home late, asking Maria not to wait up. After hanging up, Maria notices that the door to Oliver's room has opened again and goes to close it. She then decides to sleep with her daughter, but is startled awake by loud noises. Following the sounds, she discovers Oliver messing with the piano and is shocked to see his favorite toy completely torn apart. Hearing something running outside, Maria decides to investigate and sees an Agori. She asks him to go away, and as she approaches, he points to her back. When she turns around, she finds a demonic figure walking towards her. Terrified, she crawls away, realizing that the mysterious man has vanished, and runs home. Inside, Piki confronts Maria, asking if she has any idea what she has done. She asks if Maria really thought she could bring someone back from the dead without consequences. Confused, Maria says she doesn't understand. Piki explains that Hindus believe in the purification and reincarnation of the soul, and that Oliver will not undergo this process because he has returned to life, while his soul will begin to rot. When Maria tries to return to her room, Piki interrupts her, asking if she hasn't noticed that entity's presence. She reveals that the spirit is Mirtu, a guardian of the underworld who has come to claim Oliver's soul and will eliminate anything that stands in his way. Piki says that Oliver is no longer Maria's son, that he is now evil, and urges her to burn everything related to him because these objects serve as anchors for his presence in this world. She asks her to pray for his soul to return to the world of the dead. Maria says she is going crazy and tries to leave, but Piki says she never should have told her about the temple, believing she was helping. Maria ignores the warnings and runs to the bedroom, where she reflects for a moment and realizes that Lucy is crying in bed. As she approaches, Lucy appears next to her, and soon she realizes that this is not her daughter. Looking closely, she comes face to face with the creature, which scares her and makes her fall to the ground, holding the real Lucy. During the day, Maria discusses with Michael the possibility of moving back to the United States, but he disagrees, arguing that it's not a good time for business. Maria's mind begins to hallucinate, and she sees cockroaches coming from everywhere, but quickly returns to reality. Soon they realize that Lucy has disappeared, and they start looking for her. Maria hears her daughter calling her from outside and runs, trying to find her in the crowd. She sees Lucy running down an alley and starts to follow her. When she catches up to her, she discovers that it's actually the creature that has taken the form of her daughter, which terrifies her. At that moment, Michael appears with the real Lucy, calling for her. When Maria looks again, the creature has vanished. Michael explains that Lucy was right in front the whole time, but Maria didn't hear her and ran away. Meanwhile, Piki, taking advantage of Maria and Michael's absence, begins collecting Oliver's things to burn. After gathering everything, she feels someone watching her and calls out to the entity, knowing it is there. With no answer, she quickly grabs the bags and takes everything outside. However, upon returning inside, she finds Winston looking at her and soon feels a hug holding her. All the doors slam shut at once. Winston tries to enter, but can't, and Piki screams for Oliver to stop playing these games. He laughs and unlocks everything, while Piki rushes to burn the boy's belongings, but is nervous and struggles to light the matches. At this point, her daughter begins to rise from a fountain, calling for her mother, which alerts her. Later we find out that it is Oliver posing as Lucy. Uneasy with her daughter's calls, Piki decides to go to the fountain to investigate, and ends up finding her deceased daughter's ribbon. The scene then shifts to the family arriving home. Lucy gets out of the car, finds Oliver's book lying on the ground, and hands it to her mother. Soon after, they see trash bags with Oliver's belongings, and Michael asks what that means. Maria heads to the fountain and finds Piki's body, being horrified and screaming in despair. Michael and Lucy rush to see what happened, but Maria tries to prevent her daughter from looking. Michael is in shock at the scene. Piki is cremated at the beach, and only Michael attends the funeral, while Maria dedicates herself to reading to Lucy and Winston. Lucy asks her mother if she also believes Oliver had something to do with Piki's death, but Maria insists it was just an accident. The girl questions if she is sure. Later, while putting her daughter to sleep, Maria decides to finish what Piki had started and burns all of Oliver's belongings. While returning home, Michael sees something strange in the car window and gets startled, but soon realizes it's just an ordinary man. At home, Maria hears Winston barking and rushes upstairs to check if Lucy is okay. She enters the room, but despite Winston not stopping barking, she doesn't find her daughter. She goes to Oliver's room and, looking out the window, sees Lucy on a swing. She feels she is being watched, but ignores it and runs to find her daughter. Lucy says she just wanted to feel the wind on her face, as it tickles, but when she is about to take her inside, she notices Michael is coming back. Lucy runs to hug her father, who asks why she is still awake. However, there is no time for explanations, as Michael sees Oliver's things burning and rushes to try to put out the fire. He asks Maria why she is doing that, and she replies that she believes Oliver has returned and that he is responsible for Peaky's death. Michael questions what she is saying, and Maria asks Lucy for help to explain, but the girl says she doesn't know anything, as her brother is dead. Lucy behaves strangely, asserts that she doesn't know what she is talking about, and Maria screams for her to tell the truth. Michael asks her to stop, taking Lucy inside, while Maria follows, insisting that their daughter tell her father about Oliver. Michael says that's enough, stating that she isn't thinking straight and asks them to talk outside. At that moment, Maria notices that Lucy's eyes are black, and she smiles strangely. Maria runs to Lucy, asking what Oliver is doing with her sister. Oliver explains that now they can be together. Maria, in shock, goes into a frenzy, and Lucy screams that she is scared. Michael pushes her away, claiming that she needs treatment. He grabs Lucy in his arms and quickly locks Maria in the room. Meanwhile, Michael and Lucy go for a walk, but the lights suddenly go out, surprising him. Outside, he finds several Agori men speaking in a strange language. Michael asks what they want, and they all point to Lucy, causing him to lock himself in the house to call the police. While doing this, Winston approaches, growling at the spirit. Oliver tries to calm him down with a knife, asking the dog to be quiet because he is behaving badly. Michael, on the phone, hears Winston's screams and rushes to see what happened. When he arrives, he finds that Lucy has killed the dog. She justifies that he was behaving badly and, pointing the knife, asks if he will also behave badly. With no time to respond, Michael is stabbed. He questions what she is doing, and Oliver reveals that he is not Lucy, but rather Oliver. Maria manages to break down the door and exits the room, but gets distracted by a window that opens behind her. Another door opens behind her, but she doesn't pay attention and leaves the place. And soon, an Agori man enters through the window. She begins to search for Michael but cannot find him, and soon hears Lucy's screams. She quickly ascends the stairs and finds her daughter surrounded by Agori men. She tries to help but is quickly subdued. As the men proceed with the exorcism, Mirtu begins to ascend the stairs. When they are about to eliminate Oliver, Michael arrives and grabs one of the men's hands. Maria frees herself and runs to Lucy, pleading with Oliver to let her sister return, but he says he doesn't want to go back. She makes a deal, and Oliver possesses Maria's body instead of Lucy, causing the Agori to attack her swiftly. Michael watches helplessly as his wife falls dead to the ground. Mirtu begins to approach her, and soon takes her soul to the underworld, while her family mourns her loss. Sometime later, she awakens in that same temple, and discovers that Michael is doing the same as her, ending up opening the portal again, and thus the film ends.